You better like me or you don't like me, but we're going to tell the story and we're going to tell the truth. And one thing I'm going to say here is going to be, we are going to be non-aligned media platform. We're not for this, we're not for that. We're not for the right, we're not for the left. We're going to be at the center. For CBI News exists for them, for every unheard voice, every silenced perspective, every young African who believes that their opinion matters. I invite you, if your opinion matters, please, where is the platform to go to? CBI News. We are entering a future where news is verified before it is amplified. We're not going to be very quick to breaking news. Breaking news, but when you go down and do the cross-check, it's not happening. We're going to verify the news. Technology, because we're deploying technology, credibility, and not compromising will be our hallmark. African story is told by Africans with excellence, and we are going to tell our stories because we are real Africans. There is no this is not just a launch. It is a movement. Please join me in this movement. It has just started, and we're going to make it work. I want to thank the incredible team that worked tirelessly to make this vision real. We've been on this trajectory for a very long time. To every designer, engineer, journalist, editors, strategist, you have built something very historic. I thank you for being with us. And to everyone seated here, you are not just a witness. You are part of the beginning. The beginning of a platform that will shape conversation. The beginning of a brand that will travel beyond borders. The beginning of a story that will outlive us. As we launch the CBI News app today, I'll leave you with this word. The world does not change when we speak. The world changes when truth is spoken. True what? CBI News platform. I thank you for listening. May God bless all of us.
Ladies and gentlemen,
with the hottest disc jockey.
Emperor Chris Baywood Ibe, founder and executive vice chairman, Baywood Group. Thank you so much for that beautiful speech. And I also want to thank you so much for listening. All right, I said something massive is going on with CBI News, right? I want to show you a quick update of the ultra-modern studio, the ultra-modern facility, the state-of-the-art facility where we're going to be producing amazing content, telling verifiable news stories from. So ladies and gentlemen, please help us look at the screen and see the wonders that we're performing right there at our studios in Lagos. Enjoy for the next 1 minute. Can we have the video, please? One of the things we've done is to make sure that we have the state-of-the-art equipment. But, I mean, in very, very modernized studios, that's what we're doing there. Just to, to resonate with the world that CBI News is here to change the game. So ladies and gentlemen, please feast your eyes to what we are just performing, the wonders that we're doing there at CBI. What's happening? NEPA cannot strike you. Media, what's going on? What's going on? All right. So immediately after the video, we're going to be having the discussion, the panel session. And in that panel session, we're going to be talking about, in the Nigerian media space and how we can rebuild credibility in our media. Trust me, this conversation is very timely, and we have, experts in this field to help us dissect, this particular topic. It's something that a lot of people these days, if you understand, anybody just that has a mobile phone and internet connectivity, they feel like they're a news person, and they go there, hey, this is happening, not verifying facts, not telling the accurate stories. And that's what we at CBI News we're here to change. And we'll be looking at how, over the years, people have diluted the media space, how the media has lost its credibility. We're going to address that today with our conversation in the panel session. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to waste further time. Let's just go straight to the panel session. And when we have the video ready, our team will definitely get it across. So I'll be inviting on stage the panelists at this moment to help take us further in this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the first person I'm going to call to join me on stage. His name is John Inyinaya Thompson, ANIPR, MICD, CDE, and the list goes on. John Inyinaya Thompson is a journalist, certified, is a rights activist, publisher, preacher, HSSE, DRR, and climate change expert. Please help me put your hands together for him as he comes on stage. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have one member of the ushering team here to help us take. Can I have one member of the ushering team on stage with me to help me out with this? A member of the ushering team to help us, take our guests on stage. It's very important that we have them. All right, let's move further. The next person I'm going to call here to join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Karimatu Salami. She's the founder, the Kakord Communication, and former BBC investigative producer. Please help me welcome Karimatu on stage with a round of applause. Please, let's do better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. All right. Moving forward, I'd like to invite on stage the Managing Director, Dentsu Argyle, Marian Ogaziechi. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Marian Ogaziechi as she makes her way on stage. All right, here. Okay. Marian Ogaziechi, is she here? Proceed and
I think that that's the question of trust. Is media your first source for information? I think that's a good question to talk about trust.
okay.
So trust is built over time, and trust is built by establishing credibility. And I think that to a large extent, like what you've said, there's a lot of publisher, editor bias that goes behind the news. So you would question the news again and again. And working in the media, it's basically who pays the piper dictates the tune. And that is what we see in the Nigerian media. And if you're on Twitter streets, every news item that comes out, whether it is true or not, whether it's verifiable or not, meets a lot of pushback because of that trust crisis. So is there a trust crisis? Yes, there is a trust crisis. Is there a way to walk back from that? I guess that's another conversation that we can have.
Thank you very much. I love the fact that you kept your response quite brief. And I'd also like to implore our other speakers, the panelists, that because of time, would like to keep the conversation and your responses so brief and simple. Basically, keep it short and simple. Let's kiss. All right, so my next question is for Karimot. Let's talk about the fact that it's obvious he has established that there is a trust crisis in the Nigerian media space. But how much has this mistrust, or let me put it, this breach in trust between the people and the media, how much has it affected credibility in terms of the news and the people accepting it and also, verifying these stuffs? Gentleman.
Okay. I'm happy to be here, first of all. So, about that, for me, I would say the news is where it is. It has always been there, but it is the people who have decided to move away from the fact. Because I wouldn't say emotions, but I'm going to say maybe bias based on sometimes ethnicity, sometimes religious perspectives, sometimes background and lack of access to certain informations. The reason why I'm saying this is we have news platforms, reputable news platforms, but sometimes people decide to move away from these reputable news platforms. They prefer to get the news from some unknown sources because of their emotions. Sometimes when things happen, we have channels, for instance. Now we have CBI, well established. We know the people behind these platforms. But some people, because of personal interest, they don't want to hear balanced narrative. They want to hear what they want to hear. So they decide to go with the bandwagon, sorry to say. They decide to go with what suits their immediate need just because they want to push this. What I'm going to say is we should remain constant. We should stick to professionalism. We should always tell the story the way it is. We should always tell stories from the people's perspective. There is no story without the people. But if you leave the people and tell the story based on your own perspective only, then mistrust begins to creep in. But when you're balanced in your reportage, your own audience are going to find you. They are going to come to you. You don't necessarily have to be the first to break the news, but be the first to present the fact. People will come, and they are going to understand your reportage once it is balanced.
All right. Thank you very much, Karimat. Okay, so your points actually beg the question. This one is for Thompson. Thompson, Karimat said something about being objective, but look at the Nigerian media space. How much influence do you think the ownership of a media firm and the editor's bias, how much influence do you think they have on credibility and being objective reporting?
Welcome the distinguished colleagues that I have here, and also the CBI media team, as well as the Baywood Group directors and the general public that are here. I'd like to go straight to the point by asking a little bit of question of have we lost tranquility before we talk about trust crisis in the media world over? Okay. I don't think the media has always created a form of tranquility or that kind of peace that we expect to have in the media space. Because if we check Statista, the global media index of trust, like you said, even the traditional media, the level of trust in the traditional media is decreasing in percentage. And that of the social media, which is what every person is now consuming, the trust is there. How it's not decreasing? We ask ourselves why. It goes to the person behind the news. Now, one of highlights the person who is giving them news that they need to see on the media space. Now, like what is going on here, I never knew that it is the emperor that's behind this when you invited me.
Yeah.
But I've had encounter with the emperor, he might not remember, in one or two places. I never knew he would come up with such a thing as a journalist who is on the street, will I put that word. And one thing he said, and this thing he said it in Benin,
Yes.
you know, on a special party of a former executive director of NNPC. I don't know whether he will remember. He said something, because I came to him as a reporter. He made mention of credibility, the source of this information, and where he's heading up to. So when he saw that I'm a special guest of the person I'm talking about, who was the former executive director of NNPC, then he began to listen to me. Now, what I want to say here is very simple. Yes, who are the persons behind the news? Who are the people that is charting the course of news dissemination? Is it people you know that are compromised already, even in the political space? That if they say something now, in the evening they are saying an entirely different thing. Or somebody that is neither here nor there. You can't place what it stands for in life. So if we're talking about a trust crisis or rebuilding it, we need to look at the pillars. One, credibility. Someone like His Excellency Otumba is someone that you know. If he stands for something, you at least. What I'm trying to say is that the person behind the news is very important.
Right.
The characters disseminating the news
Yeah.
are also very key.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Thompson. Ifedayo now, this is for you. I mean, look at the world that we're in. These days, everybody has access to phone and internet. The advent of social media, I mean, you see that a lot has changed as to how the news or where the news comes from. Anybody can be a news teller. Do you think the ethics of journalism has been eroded or trampled upon by those who are not actually the key players in this journalism profession?
Thank you for having me. So, I don't think it started with just social media.
Okay.
The way media has been, especially if you look at everything that has happened after COVID-19 and the way we've turned gossip into news now globally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, social media did play a role, but what I'm trying to explain is that our job as journalists, I'm still going to call myself a journalist at this point, is that we need to understand that what Mrs. Karima said about being able to share facts, regardless of whatever platform, because whether you like it or not, some of the platforms that we look at,
Yeah.
Punch, Channels, and the others, they have their own social media platforms too, doing
Okay.
the same thing. Now, talking about the erosion itself, I think the problem starts from the audience and how we have developed these echo chambers ourselves.
Okay.
So, like Nigeria is lucky because, for instance, there was a poll that was done in June 2025 by Reuters, and that poll said amongst 140 countries, Nigeria polled highest with 68% trust in the media. But if you dig deep, what you realize is that people have decided to choose the platforms that they trust most. I was having a conversation with my aunt at the beginning when we came here.
Okay.
And we mentioned certain platforms, and we said, if I go there to do anything, if I'm giving my lead a talking point, I need to be very careful what I'm saying on that platform because of the owner. That's one thing. Now, if you're talking about social media, the problem also, which is the second thing I'm going to highlight, is that social media has allowed us to also monetize virality.
In other words, commercializing the news.
Yes.
Okay.
So if genocide, but you're not willing to do the work, to go there and actually do interviews or talk to people who are experiencing these things. So you do an opinion piece or you do a short video just to do a breakdown. But then 2 days after that, you sit down and assess the clicks and the views. And you understand, okay, you're getting just 18,
Yeah.
20, and then you measure that against somebody else who said there is genocide. Then automatically, as a human being, you want to do another video that talks about genocide.
All right.
Because the person who did that same story got more views and more clicks than
Yeah.
you did. So I don't think I want to put social media content creators in that box of being ethical. I think it's too much to ask for.
Okay.
But I think it's our job as journalists and as content creators or news producers to be
Yeah.
able to present facts
Okay.
to people. I think that's the most important thing.
So please help me take them. Are you satisfied with the way the Nigerian... I'm asking this question. Yes or no from 3 persons. Is there genocide in Nigeria or no genocide? 3 audience members. If you want to say yes or no, just raise your hand up. Don't give reasons. Yes or no. Is there genocide in Nigeria? I have a respondent there. Alice? Yes or no? We're going somewhere with this. Okay, just, you can put it on over there. Remember, we're trying to rebuild the credibility in the Nigerian media.
That's a fantastic question. So what's your take on that?
Good afternoon.
Yes.
So to
Your name,
answer-
please.
Okay, my name is Otobo. To answer the question, I think there is genocide.
Okay.
But the way it's being reported, no, I'm not impressed.
You're not impressed. 1. Do we have another person who wants to go
Okay.
in favor or against?
Let's hear from you.
All right.
Please tell us your name and what you think.
My name is Ujua. Yes, there is genocide. However, the way it is being reported is very partial
Very partial.
and too parochial.
Okay, very partial and parochial. We're going somewhere. Any other person? I need 3 persons. Just one more person to go. Somebody wants to say yes or no. Are you satisfied with the way the media is currently reporting America's claim that there's genocide in Nigeria? Do we have another person?
Just one more person. Let's
One
hear
more
from
person,
you.
and then we'll proceed. Okay, I think we have somebody over there. Let's
Okay.
get the response.
Don't forget to tell us your name and what you think.
I'm Ikechukwu Obasi by name. Yes, there's genocide, but the way it's been disseminated is like something that's been compromised. There's compromise in the dissemination of the information about genocide in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. Please celebrate the contributors with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. All right, so let's get back to the conversation. My panelists, you've heard what the people have to say concerning America's claim that there's genocide in Nigeria. I want to ask you this question now. This question is for Karimot. Do you think the Nigerian media is doing justice to this reportage? Let me make mention to a claim. One American senator, while he was addressing the Congress or the press, he said, you only get news when the stakeholders, the people in the powers, the people controlling the power, when they call press conference. So there's no room for investigative journalism. You only get to hear whatever it is they tell the media. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I asked the question, and I need your answer to that.
First of all, I would like to remind us that as journalists, we have certain responsibilities. And part of the responsibility is that we must be careful in our reportage, because your story could lit up the country, it could cause chaos, it could cause violence if you're not careful. So, about genocide, for me, it's about perspective. I'm in Lagos. I don't live in the south, I don't live in the north, I don't live in the north central. I'm based here in Lagos. So for instance, I'm not a journalist, and a member of my family has never had any form of kidnap or whatever. So in my own perspective, I can say, there is nothing, but saying that to someone who had experienced firsthand kidnapping or whatever vices is happening in the society, I could trigger the person and it could lead to violence on the part of the other person, because they will feel I'm insensitive.
Yeah.
So if I say the case has not been well reported, I wouldn't say it has not been well reported.
Okay.
I would only say maybe there is no balance.
All right. There's
This
no
is
balance.
my perspective, yes. we can report cases better. As journalists, I'm going to task us. We can do better than we are doing. Talk to the people. Don't sit in Lagos and tell a story of someone living in Benue like you're there.
Yeah.
Visit Benue, see what. Don't conclude based on your own perspective alone.
Yeah, I feel you.
Let there be balance. Listen to the Benue people, listen to the other parties involved, then put out your reportage and let the people judge. Let them see what you're telling. Let them listen to your story and draw their conclusions from there. But if you're being sensational, you come out, there is this, how sure are you? Can you prove it in the court of law? If you're asked to present facts, how much facts do you have as a journalist? Even as a people. Today, everyone has turned into emergency reporters, as I and Ifedaya were discussing earlier. If something happens, we're all journalists right now because we have smartphones. We bring it out, we report. Some people even go as far as giving live updates.
All right.
Without considering the fact that this thing you're putting out there could cause more damage.
All right, because of time, Karimat.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for your contribution. I think I already get what you're saying, and the people already understand. But now, Victoria, over to you. We're launching CBI News app today. CBI News, of course, is coming with the mantra of rebuilding the trust, the credibility in the media. How do you think CBI News, as a news house, as a news firm, can change this narrative, rebuild those trust and the credibility that the media has since lost?
Thank you. It's going to be a journey, but the first part of a journey is the intention and the intentionality behind carrying out that your intention, right?
Yeah.
And I heard Emperor Baywood and the MD of CBI Digital talk about reclaiming the narrative, changing the narrative. Thank you. Changing the narrative. So what is that narrative? Simon has talked about responsibility. There's responsibility. There is also the ethics behind that data that you're putting out, right?
Yeah.
So data has to be relatable. And she's talked about it so clearly about me and my family who have not experienced something, another person who has experienced it. There is that relatability. For a long time we talk about solution journalism and what CBI can do, what CBI has said they will do, and we're going to be holding CBI accountable for doing that, is to investigate. Is not to talk about breaking news. I want to be out there. Everyone and their dog who has a smartphone is out there telling stories without investigating. They've just heard from somebody else and they've talked about their own experiences or their own thoughts. I think we need to be more responsible as Nigerians to know that everything we say, everything we do has an impact, and it speaks to the credibility and it speaks to the respect that people have about us. If we're the ones condemning, we're the ones telling only the sad stories and there is no good thing about it, that is the perception that is going to be out there. Now, what Trump has said about us is not so much as what Trump has said about us. We need to listen to what we're saying about ourselves. Under the post by Trump, what are we saying as Nigerians? And is that the reality? We have not been responsible enough to go look into that. So when CBI says that we're going to not tell a story of genocide, we're not going to tell a story of crisis, we're going to tell a story of the people, I think that's very important, to bring in that human angle. Yeah. What are the experiences of the people? There are good people there. There are resilient people there. There are real stories. There's an impact on their families. And maybe when we begin to hear this impact, it's no more people and their real children and their real experiences. That's what we want to see happening. And it's not just about crisis, because crisis is not all that defines us. We're in the process of rebuilding our economy. What this reputation, tourism, You know, we're talking about dirty December. How many people are still going to come? How many people are still going to invest? We're out there looking for investors, and we're destroying what we have because we're not responsible in our reportage. We're not responsible in our commentage. We're not